are trimming today, learning everything you need to know about trimming. When I say trimming, what I'm referring to is cleaning up the bottom of your piece, making it look very, very nice. You're taking the weight off your piece and creating a beautiful aesthetic on the bottom. Trimming is a part of traditional ceramics, and we are going to be doing this tooling on all of our pieces. Yes, Jason?
I feel like this is a high likelihood of ruining our pieces.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
That's how you practice ones.
So we start with our practice pots. Remember, Monday and Tuesday we made practice pots. We'll start with those, and then by the time you get to your Wednesday, Thursday pots, you'll be really good at trimming and it won't even be a problem. You might lose some pots on trimming, which is totally okay. It's a learning. Remember, this camp's about learning, it's about practice. It'll all work out.
What if we
You can raise your hand. Yep.
What if we destroy all of our pots?
You won't. Promise. Thanks. First thing I like to do when I trim is pick up my piece and feel how thick it is. So I notice that it's thinner in the middle and it's thicker on the edge. And that's true for mostly every piece. You guys won't be trimming very much in this area right here. You will not be trimming very much here. You'll be mostly focusing on the edge. I'm gonna pass this piece around. You're just gonna feel how thick it is. And I'm gonna start with trimming on this piece. They're pretty similar. So first thing I'll do is line my piece up on the lines on my wheel head, trying to get it into the center. If you have a rim that's really wobbly, it might not line up exactly with the center lines here, but you can line up just the base. Similarly to throwing, the first step is securing, right? So we need our piece on so it's not gonna fling off. You'll get one chunk of clay and split it into 3 pieces. How many pieces?
3.
3 pieces. I'm gonna take my left hand and press down with my thumb. 1, 2, 3. Keep my hand there. And for the last step, last ball of clay, I'm still keeping my hand there so that it's secured down. What happens if I don't put my hand there is I'll press down the balls of clay and it'll shove out of the center. So now it's not even close. You really want to keep that hand on top. And I recommend keeping the balls of clay separate. So sometimes students will put all of these balls of clay mashed up around, and it actually makes it less secure because those end up becoming one unit and the whole thing will slide off. So if you have 3 separate balls of clay, it's actually more secure. Thank you. Also with securing, if you need to take your piece off, you can pop off 1 ball of clay, slide your piece out, and you should be able to slide it back in and press it back down. So if you ever need to come show me a piece, please, please, please keep your balls of clay on so that it stays centered. So we have securing. What's our next step? Any guesses? Centering. Similar to throwing on the wheel, except different.
Similar to different, yeah.
Yeah.
makes so much sense.
Right. First thing is putting your elbow in. For trimming every single step, you have to have your elbow locked in place. Otherwise, you won't trim correctly. And you might bring your pot. I'm taking my needle tool, slowly just drawing a light line on top. I'm kind of holding it like a pencil. Notice how I'm not digging a giant hole into mine. I don't want that. I just want a nice light line. The huge gouges are a lot harder to erase. Can you see this faint line right here?
Yeah.
This is telling me if it's centered or not. What do you guys think? Do you think it's centered? No. It's bigger here and smaller here. So any guesses to which direction that I should push it? This way or this way? I'm gonna push it towards the small side because it needs more clay. My pieces happens to just be really dry and I can't erase the line very well. So I'm gonna erase it with this tool. But you guys can erase it with your finger, usually. So now, I'm gonna go back. What do we think? Centered?
No, kinda.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
This line right here, don't look at the middle one. Secure, center. Next step. Not volcano, but good try. That was a trick question. Take your big loop tool and you're gonna start on the side edge. When you're trimming, you wanna have your wheel moving before you put your tool on so that it doesn't jam in or fling your tool when you start. So I have my wheel started. I'm gonna put my tool on gently. And can anyone tell me what position I'm in on the clock? 4 p.m.? Good job. You learned something this week. Yeah.
When you say like elbows in the middle and elbows in your belly button, then you mean like this.
For wheel throwing.
But
Yeah.
is
For
it
trimming,
just like-
your elbow will rest just on top, kind of like on the inside of your leg. You won't be able to get it into your stomach comfortably, but it needs to be stable and resting on something. You could even rest it on this yellow pan. As long as it's resting on something, it's okay for trimming because you need to be steady. Careful, you're bumping into my thing. It's okay. I'm taking my left hand and putting it on top so that if my wheel is spinning and these balls of clay get loose and my piece starts to jump, I'll be able to hold it down and set my wheel instead of it going off, hitting here, and then going and going to the graveyard of pots. That's like the saddest noise whenever somebody's piece goes. You need to have your left hand on top at all times. I'm taking my right hand, holding it somewhat like a pencil. You can put your finger on this metal part, however is comfortable for you, as long as you're trimming and tooling off clay. So, am I trimming right now?
Yeah.
Yeah? How about now?
No.
There's nothing coming off. Your goal is to hold as steady as possible and stay in the same spot. And then if you're gonna move, you'll move slowly into another spot. So it's like same as sponging. Remember when you're sponging down your piece on the wheel and we count? We go 1, 2, 3, and then move your sponge. 1, 2, 3. Can anyone tell me why we want to go around 3 seconds?
Maybe to make sure everything's even.
Yes, exactly. Did you have something to add?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that it goes around a full rotation. Otherwise, we would just end up trimming half of our piece. So let's say I didn't go around a full time. It would look like this. If I just move my tool quickly,
Oh wow.
that really didn't trim. If I hold in one spot, look what happens. It creates nice even lines and it's trimming evenly. Sometimes people add a little ball of clay to make sure they're going around. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just count. You don't have to do the ball of clay. So we have secure, center, big tool, small tool.
We have to risk messing it up again.
You're going to take either the loop side or the flat side. It's up to you. You can try either. And come in about 1/2 inch, creating a nice small indent on the top. And remember how I drew this X on the center? You're not carving out very much from the middle because it's usually thin. If you notice your piece is very thick, you can tool down further. I'm just gonna take my big loop tool again and just kind of even it out. Make this part a little bit lower than the rim. Many of you are gonna struggle with the top part and your tool is gonna try and move. It's gonna try and move your hand and your tooling might look like this. If it looks like this on your piece, like scribble marks, that means that your tool is moving with the clay and you wanna get steady and hold still. So notice how my tool is staying in the same spot. I'm just directing it to the side. Awesome, all right. So I did my small loop tool and then, yeah, go ahead.
How are we gonna clean it? Because it's not wet. Can we just like put all the edges and
I'll show you. Good question about cleaning. I'll show you in a minute. Then, to make the foot ring on the outside come in, I like to take my small tool still while it's in my hands and go in on the side, creating a nice little indent. And then I'm actually gonna blend that down back into my piece.
This whole thing looks so satisfying.
So satisfying. Wow. Done big, now I've done small. Okay, so I've done big tool, small tool, and then last step is I like to go back to my big tool, making sure that this is flat so that it sits nicely on a table. Notice how my left hand is still on top. And I like to just take a little bit off the edge and make it nice and round, or kind of make either like a sharp angle.
What's in your cup?
There's a rock in there. So should I do a sharp angle or should I make it rounded?
Round.
Rounded? Okay.
Okay.
Taking off one ball of clay. What do you guys think?
Wow.
Pretty cool.